Hi guys, my name is Camilla and I am a member of Laurel Leaf Networking, and I am jumping on here today all barefaced with no makeup on because I'm going to do a full makeup tutorial for you. So let me just tie my hair back. If anybody sees a black shadow moving in the background, it's my little puppy Arthur, who's just on the bed over there. You say hello. Okay, cool. So I literally have nothing on my face at all at the moment. By the way, if anyone's around, do say hi. I'm happy to answer questions as we go along. Feel free to interrupt me. Yeah, and just fire away. Otherwise, enjoy. So if anybody wants to do their makeup with me, they can take it off now, and I'll just have a quick chat about some cleansing products that I like, and then hopefully by the time I finish that, you'll be makeup free and we can do this all together. Hi Laurel. Arthur, say hello. He's fast asleep. Cool, so I am a big fan of Liz Earle. I just really like this stuff. It smells amazing. It's just got lovely ingredients. It's cruelty free. It's easy enough to order online. So I've stuck with this now for quite a while. My favorite thing ever is their cleanse and polish. And this is amazing. It comes with sort of bamboo cloths, which you can actually wash, but it's amazing for melting makeup literally away. So if anything, I would definitely recommend that for taking makeup off. I don't actually use facial wash that often because I normally use that to take makeup off. I might use a little bit in the morning, but mainly in the evening. But what I do is tone. So again, it's their Instant Boost Skin Tonic Spritzer, another favourite of mine, and it's great because you just spritz over and wipe it off with a cotton pad. And then also their moisturiser. They do it in normal combination and also for dry skin. So those are my favourites, and I've got them on at the moment. So I tell you what, actually, I'm trying this out at the moment. It's from Kiehl's. It's a serum and it costs a small fortune at about 50 quid. So I am expecting miracles, which I haven't seen yet. So the jury's currently out on that one. So I'm actually going to pop this on. Serums are quite good to use underneath your makeup or even ideally underneath your moisturiser. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a couple of pumps of this on. And then I'm just going to pop some moisturiser on top. Ooh, just to lock that in. It's only so long you can stare at your bare face. I'm dying to put some makeup on it. So without further ado, I'm going to get cracking. So base wise, I am going to use a bit more coverage. Sometimes in the daytime I just go with a bit of BB cream, maybe mix in a bit of a heavier foundation. But I'm going to go in with, it's not too much coverage. It's NARS Sheer Glow foundation, which is quite nice. Some people find it quite a bit too sheer, so a bit too shiny. So if you've got quite oily skin, then it's probably not the greatest. Perhaps something like this one, which is Urban Decay All Nighter. Quite thick, good coverage, not quite so shiny, would be better for you. You can always use a BB cream as well underneath, just as almost like a primer, just to help with the makeup staying on. So my favourite foundation brush to use is, well, this Real Techniques one. I've got another one of another brand. I think it might be a Sigma brush, but anything with sort of really kind of close together bristles so you can really buff the makeup onto the skin. So I'm just splodging a little bit onto my hand. You can probably put it straight onto your brush. This is more just habit. And then I'm just going to work it on. Actually going to turn off. Hopefully this is a bit better. Yes. I normally have a nice bit of fake tan on, but I scrubbed it all off in the bath this morning. So I'm super pale today. That's cool, because with a bit of contouring, we'll sort that out nicely. Although I will be spray tanning tonight, 100%. Okay, so I've just literally just buffed that all into my skin. I didn't use loads. I'm just making sure it's all blended. So as for concealer, I'm going to be using MAC's Mineralized Concealers. Come in lots of different colours. Normally I'm this colour, but as we're having a really pale day, I'm going to be using NC15, which is actually the lightest shade that they do. So I'm taking care just to go just where that darker bit there is, and then just going to pat on with my finger. You don't want to go overboard with putting concealer under the eyes, because it's quite a delicate area, and with lots of blinking and winking and everything throughout the day, it does crease a lot. So the more product you have there, the more it's going to collect in the fine little lines around your eye. So the less the better. So you might want something a little heavier. This is quite fluid, which is nice to blend with, but you might want something a little bit thicker. On to a bit of colour in my face. So I'm using this Naked Urban Decay Naked Skin Shapeshifter. So, okay, this is pretty heavy duty. It's got a lot of things in it. So you've got contour colours along here and highlight colours along here, and that's in powder form. And then if we flip it over, I don't like this side as much. You've got kind of contour colours, that's more of a kind of pinky corrector. And other areas to kind of highlight, colours to highlight with there. I'm just going to use the powders today, so I guess any kind of bronzer will do. I quite like Bobbi Brown's one in Aruba, and what else do I use? Actually, Urban Decay do them in pots. I wonder if I've got one. Yes. So like this one. So this one's quite nice. It's called Bronzed, but it's nearly finished, as you can see. But just one kind of colour would do. And I'm literally going to douse them on the brush and just tap it to wipe off any excess. These ones in particular are really highly pigmented, so I'm going to go easy. So what I'm doing is I'm going to shade underneath the cheekbones. If you can't find your cheekbones, if you draw your cheeks in and feel like that, you should see where the depression is, and that's what you want to shade. Now, if you've got quite a wide forehead, you will want to shade at sort of the sides, which will create the illusion that it's slightly smaller. Again, if you're quite wide or quite long. If you don't have a wide forehead, you probably definitely don't want to be putting any shading up there, because you're just going to make it look even smaller. Under the chin, if you've got any jowls or anything like that, or you've got quite a square jawline, that can help to give you more kind of a heart shape at the bottom. And then you can also go along the nose. So if you've got quite a wide nose, if you shade down the sides, you'll make it thinner. And if you've got quite a long nose, or you feel it's quite big, if you put a bit of shading underneath, it makes it smaller. So I'm going to use all of these today, but you can pick and choose as to which ones you want to use. So I'm going in an upward direction, but I want to make sure I do kind of circular motions too. I don't want it to end up being too stripy. What I quite like about doing it at the top, it just gives you a bit of a sun-kissed glow. So I know I always tend to burn my head when I go on holiday, so I always have more freckles around this area, and also a little bit of a darker colour, which I think is quite nice. So I always do just put a little bit of colour at the top here. So underneath the chin, so I'm literally just going along that line there. Again, make sure you look right underneath, that you don't end up, because it's quite hard to see with these big orange lines anywhere. But it's just more of a hint of a shadow. And a little bit under the nose. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze this brush, so it's kind of a flat brush, so it was round and now it's flat. This is more me being lazy and multitasking a brush. But that way I get a hard edge where I can get more precision with it to go down the side of the nose. And then you can just blend with your finger. Alternatively, if you have a brush, anything smaller really, something like that, or like this would do. Great. So if you're worried that you're looking a little too stripy anywhere, you can always just go back in with your foundation brush. You don't have to put any more product on it. It'll still have some of the foundation left over, and you can just do that and soften it down a bit. See a couple of you are watching, which is lovely. Say hi, ladies or gentlemen. Don't be shy. If you've got any questions, please do ask. So I'm going to pop some blusher on. Again, there's a lot of Urban Decay stuff being used today. So this is called Score, and it's their Afterglow blusher range. So I'm going to smile, and that's where your apples of your cheeks are. So you want to go easy. Just a little bit there, and then just blend it out slightly. What you don't want to do is go too big or like that, because you're going to ruin your kind of contour. You just want it to blend slightly in. Okay. Sorry, I'm rattling around with my makeup stuff. Okay, so moving on to eyes. Surprise, surprise, it's an Urban Decay palette, which I am in love with at the moment because it's got amazing autumn shades in it. And I had a moment where I was really addicted to these, and now I'm in love with this orange one. So that's what I'm going to use today. Well, actually the orange and the brown. So I'm going to do almost like a kind of a cut crease really. So it's called Extra Bitter, this colour, and it's super orangey, but you can do it with any colour you like, or just kind of a brown. And actually, no I'm not. First of all, I'm going to put a base on. So if you're not going to use an eyeshadow primer today, but if you do want to use one, the Urban Decay Eden primer is really, really good. And it's quite a light colour, which I find is good for all skin tones because it makes the colours really bright and true. So depending on what you're using, if you're using something quite light or sheer, then you probably want to use something near your natural skin tone. But otherwise, Eden is a really, really good one. They do a range of colours, so there's options for everybody. So I'm just going to put like a nudie colour all over. So I don't know if you can already see, but there's slight foundation collecting there, which is what will happen if you don't sort of powder. So what's always important to powder under the eyes, and also to put at least a base on your eyelids. So this is just nude patted on there. Gone all over the lid. I'm just going to use something with a little bit of shimmer in. This colour is called Blow, just to go over the brow bone. So it just highlights that little bit. You'll see it more when I do my eyebrows. And now I'm going to go in with that extra bit of colour. So I'm going to be going just in the crease, and then I'm going to sort of blend it out just to this area here. So just kind of inside the socket. So I'm really kind of sticking my brush in there and just using it as a guide, the right place to go. Okay, and then I'm just going to pat some on here. The key is lots of blending. Oh, you will notice halfway through it looks like I've been punched in the eye, but don't worry, I will rectify that. Okay, in that same colour I'm going to go into the lash line. I'm being quite brave because this is quite thick, so you might want to use a smaller brush or an angled brush just to make sure you don't get it all down here. Just going to make that meet this bit here. Ooh. So join it up to there. Great. So now I'm just going to go in with a bit of a darker brown and just make it look a little less like I've been punched in the eye, and just create a darker shade. Oh, Arthur, sit down. So I'm just really emphasising that crease line there. And just bringing it round. That'll be a squirrel out in the garden. Just gonna shut the door. Sorry. Okay. Right. So now I'm gonna get a cotton bud and just really gently swipe it across. And I'm just blending off that edge. Hoping you'll tire out eventually. Okay, and then just to help that blend a bit better, I'm going to use those colours that I used at the beginning. So that kind of nudie colour, just washed back over the eyelid. Thanks, Laurel. Do you know what? The key is just blending, blending, blending. As I said, it does look like you've been punched in the eye. It still looks like I've been punched in both eyes. But as you keep blending and building up colour and sort of building up different gradients and shades, it starts looking like all coming together and looking like it should be there. Okay, right, I can't bear to look at these eyebrows anymore without anything on them. Let me find my brush. Sorry, I've lost a brush. 1 second, bear with me. Lost both my angled brushes. This makes no sense. Okay, I found one. I will use it for both. So, eyebrows. Ooh. I always like to use a powder. I'm not a fan of pencil. Oh, hi Shula. How you doing? Do you ever use this powder? No, I never use those. I don't think anyone uses those. I think I used them when I used to go into my mum's makeup when I was about 10. I mean, you can, yeah, do you know what? I cannot actually even find a use for them at all. Apart from patting, I mean, you can't blend anything. They're spongy, so they do pick up a lot of the makeup. They're pretty useless. Your best bet when you get those is to throw them out. I mean, they still sell so many makeup or eye makeups with them in. Urban Decay ones come with a brush like this. So that came in that palette. Or like that one that comes in the Naked palettes, which are really popular. So at least you can kind of blend with them. But yeah, those padded things, you can't do anything with them apart from pat on, and you might as well really use your finger, to be honest. They'd probably be better off putting lipstick on with those applicators, so you could use them if you hold on to them for that. Okay, I'm sure we can find an inventive way to use them for something. As I say, definitely lipstick. Maybe we could build something out of it. So I'm just going to brush my eyebrows up. I actually went out this morning hoping to get someone to thread them, and why is everywhere shut on a Monday? So they're not in great shape at the moment, but don't worry, we can fix that a bit with defining them. They're not perfect, so excuse them. So I'm just using an angle brush here, which is great for precision and also for mimicking the hair movement. Eyes are not finished, by the way. I've just abandoned them for a minute. So I'm just going to following the hairline, and I'm just going to create a bit more of an arch up there, and then maybe elongate ever so slightly and just define and make them slightly darker. So if you're blonde, you want like a mushroomy kind of beigey grey colour, and then dark, you can use kind of a darker tone of that or a brown. Want to be careful with anything a bit too orangey, unless you're a redhead, in which case that would be a good way to go. Probably get closer so you can see. I see partners by the... Oh, I wish I'd known that earlier. Having said that, I don't think I quite had the time to get down to Finchley this morning. But good to know in future. Thanks, Laurel. Okay. So hopefully you can see what a difference putting a bit of colour on just instantly lifts the eye compared to the other one, which looks droopy. So I'll just go ahead and do the other side. You just want to bring it out ever so slightly. You don't want to round it down, and you don't want to stray too much from your own kind of eyebrow shape because it'll look a bit weird. But generally the rule is you sort of can add a bit on the top to lift, but you don't really want to go anywhere below. You want to keep that nice arch there, which mine would be better if I managed to get them threaded today, or even last week before they got so bad. Makes all the difference. Okay. So again, if you are too heavy-handed and you want to take a bit off, just use a cotton bud. And you can just even go both directions and just take a little bit off. Cotton buds are amazing. Always have cotton buds to hand. Okay, cool. I feel much better now with my eyebrows. So I will get back to finishing off the eyes. So I'm going to go in with some liquid liner. Before I do that, I'm just going to tidy up underneath. So I'm going to use the same, you can use any kind of highlighting like Touche Eclat, something like that, anything with light reflectors in, or I'm literally going to use the concealer that I used under my eyes. And I'm just going to draw a little line like that. And then sweep it in an upward direction. So this just helps to kind of wing out your eyeshadow. And then I'm going to go in, ooh, whoops, with some gel liner. Now I didn't used to be a fan of gel liner because they dry and annoy me. And well, they start cracking pretty much like this one has here. I don't know if you can see where it started splitting. However, I absolutely love the way this one goes on. It's called Black Valley and it's from NARS, and it's just so easy to apply providing you have the right brush. I'm sure there's loads of good ones out there, but this is number 266 from MAC. And as long as you take good care of it and clean it properly and don't mess up the hairs too much while you're cleaning it, always sort of squeeze it in that direction with a brush cleaner or whatever you're washing it with, then it should last. If you're in a rush, what will you spend? For starters, I would definitely not be doing this. I mean, even if I did want to do a bit of this, I wouldn't. I'd just literally push it into the lash line and not bother with the flicks, because that's what kind of takes the time. I think eyeshadow, really, if anything, I just use the contour that I use around my face. I just use a little bit of that, very lightly, nowhere near as much as this, in the kind of sockets or the crease of my eyes, just to make them stand out a little bit. But I'd always do my eyebrows, and I'd always put a bit of contour in there, so I didn't look like too flat-faced, and I had a bit of colour in my cheeks as well. I'm just doing a little bit of a winged effect. I'm gonna be like in the camera if I get any closer. I'm just putting the skin tight just so I don't get any ripples. Super. And then get inside the eye. Sometimes don't like to take it too far in, only because while it looks great as soon as you've done it, about an hour later, if it gets a bit wet and in your eye, it ends up falling down here. So you might want to take it a little bit easy. I'm just going to finish off with some mascara, which I think is the most amazing mascara in the world, and it's from a company called FM Cosmetics. I have turned quite a few people onto this, and it's called Phenomenal Mascara. You'll probably see that it's phenomenal, but what makes it really phenomenal is it stays all day long. I often find you get great mascaras that look great, and then as the day goes on, the lashes kind of start dropping a bit. But this really kind of separates, elongates, and lasts all day long. Okay. Yay, looking a bit more human and together now, which is good. Apart from my lips. Okay, and then moving on to lips. Colours I've got here. Okay, cool. So lip liner, always important. I think a good thing to use. It will last a lot longer than your lipstick, and just defines your lips really. So it's quite a light natural colour. It's called Dervish, and it's from MAC. And if you want, you can rub your lip liner all over. It's kind of almost like primer for the lips. So if you wanted that colour, you could obviously just leave that on. It always gives it sort of a matte effect. But I'm going to pop this on top. And this one's called Pure Zen. And it's from MAC. Cool, so that is pretty much everything. I wonder if I switch this light back on, it's going to be any different. Flickering bulb. Don't know if you can maybe see a bit better. I've got lots of weird lighting going on, a natural light and a yellow light, so hopefully you can see. So those are the eyes and the lips, and then hopefully if I stand back a bit you can see the contour. My hair down. So there you go, all done, all complete. Cool, I guess I'll sign off now. Ah, thank you, Shauna. So thanks so much for watching. If you've got any questions, feel free to, I don't know if this gets left on the wall actually, but if it does, feel free to tag me in and leave some questions, or I'll keep checking back to see if it's there. Or you can drop me an email if you like. Email address is Camilla J Collins @me.com, and the dog's barking again. Right, anyway, have a fabulous week. Enjoy your Monday, enjoy your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and have a fabulous weekend. And I'm sure I will see some of you soon. It does get left on the wall. I'll be on it. Awesome, cool, great. So yeah, fire away with any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. All right, lots of love. Bye.